Right. Okay. Ah. Right on. Real dude. It sounds like it. Right, like the fuck? Right. I've had a roof be like that. I'm a roofer by trade, so I've had a roof like be patched in like that where they did an addition and you're just like you're looking at it, you're like, what the fuck? Like where did they? Oh yeah. Oh my god, dude. Oh man. Yeah, I don't miss it. I'll say that I don't miss it at work, man. Or should I say my hands don't miss it? That shit's rough on the hands. Oh, for sure. My hands are what really, really bothered me. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Well, it's I think the biggest problem with it's Wayne. Oh shit! Will you mute your mic for a sec, baby? I think your mic's on. I can hear the grinder big time. I can hear a little bit of an echo, but okay. Yeah, it is that. Like my biggest problem was getting into shingling and getting hit by a feeder. A feeder, like the person who's supposed to throw you your shingles. Like you have them people that just, I don't know what they think about the shingle, but they catch wind. Like if you don't throw them, there you are. If you don't throw them right, then bitches are gonna chop you in the wrist. Like I did it one time when I first started, with my uncle. I learned when my uncle taught me how to rough in. I was shingling with him, and I went to throw him a shingle, and like I wasn't paying attention. I was like I got caught up watching some birds. Some birds were flying, and they flew out of a tree, and I threw it, but like was like looking at them. But in my head, I thought like he's right in front of me, like he's gonna get it. But he wasn't paying attention either, and it chopped him in the. I mean, it cut his wrist open. Them shingles are sharper than they look. And like, right. And like I did it we were roofing, and the guy that was teaching me at Lockhart, like I had fucked around, and like I was throwing to him, and I caught myself doing. I didn't hit him, but I caught myself like not being. He was like, "Yeah, you can't do that." And it was like about a month later, I started actually shingling myself, and I had a young kid named Kyle that was roofing with us, and like I had him at first throwing him to where like just in front of where my hands were, to where I could reach out and like kind of slap it to the roof, you know, just guide it to the roof and then get it in place real quick. And like he started trying to just like throw it right to my hand. And I mean, it took a chunk right out of the top of my hand. You know, like it divoted my, and it was just like, oh yeah, you wanna fuck somebody up, that shit, and it's hot, and you're just trying to get the fuck off the roof. Fuck that. I don't miss it. Like cutting in and shit like that, like doing the ice paper shit like that. That's, you know, that wasn't bad. I enjoyed learning to do that because I usually would do that shit by myself. Like when I first started, they would all leave to go get lunch or whatever. I'd bring food with me. I'd stay at the job site and fucking hurry up ice and water it, and, you know, and fuck that shit. Get that done. Or ice and... Oh yeah, yeah. Yep. Yep. That's not too, but like, I didn't like fucking with the flashing at first, cutting it, but then we had started going through a different, I do like putting it on, like actually like flashing the chimney and shit like that. Especially when you got just the little square, we get little square, you know, they're like discs, and bitches were nice. They made the job way easy. I remember one time, dude, we had a guy have a chimney that was so bad we didn't realize it was as bad as it was, but it was so, like, Kevin went to flash the bitch, and the motherfucker just fell apart. It disintegrated. Thank God, homeowner was cool about it. He was like, fuck, because he was out there. You know how some homeowner, you know, they'd be like, oh, no, fucking, you broke my shit. Like, I remember him telling him, too, he's like, be careful. Like, I should probably have that redone. Just the mortar was gone. It was just, the bricks were still good. The mortar was just shit. It was gone. Motherfuckers just fell right apart, though. I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. Right. Oh, guy didn't even know. This wasn't... To my understanding, it was more of a... It was like... they didn't have an actual, like, fireplace, so it was more like... For look, almost. Like there was a pipe, or like a pipe under it, but it was like capped off, or I don't know. Eric had told him he could have just covered it the fuck up. Right. Right. So they don't necessarily need... Yep. Right. Right. Like, dude, he had got the thing almost flashed all the way. Like, that's how far he made it. And he leaned on it the wrong way. And the motherfucker just fell. It was just like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I remember looking up, and he, like, you know how somebody's in that just, like, he was on his knees, but he had his, like, hands up on his upper legs, and just, like, fuck. Like, damn it. I know better. Like, Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. Right, right. Oh no. Right. Oh no. Where? Yeah, bye bye. I'm here tomorrow then.
No, tomorrow's Sunday. You hear me? Tomorrow's Sunday.
I saw a kid get took off a roof by a piece of ply or wind and plywood before too. That's always funny. Oh fuck yeah! Just oh shit. Yeah, the same kid that hit me with the shingle one day. He was trying to. We're lifting. We had to replace, you know, the wood. The wood was rotten under the shingles, so we're replacing some wood. And like, I tell him because like, I'm helping him get the. Me and him are like grabbing sheet for sheet, and our boss Eric ended up having Kevin, who was, you know, basically my supervisor. He had Kevin go down and get cut flashing. We had. This is before we had the company do that was giving us like the sheet flashing, or the little discs. And Kevin's like, you got it, can't you? You can hop down there and like hand him up, you know, wood, and he'll get it up there. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And I'm jumping down. I'm telling him, I'm like, all right, look. I was like, it's starting to get windy. Like, now be careful. The wind catches that wood. You know, as you're grabbing it, and you got the way you're picking up, because you know he was picking it up at the bottom of the sheet and then kind of like flipping it over. I'm like, it's starting to get windy. Like, that'll... And then, like, I remember handing it to him, and then I went to turn around to grab the other one. And he was on the ground. Like, it blew him off the roof, but he, like, rode the board down. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ended up on the... Yeah, he ended up, you know, it didn't fall on top of him, but it just kind of drifted down. But the look he had on his face was like it flipped him. And he was just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I told you be careful, man. You know, like, I'm like, you all right? He was like, yeah. He's kind of like looking at him, so like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I could have been bad for you, man. You could have landed on your fucking face or something. Mm-hmm.
I would have said, fuck you. You could kiss my ass.
That, like I said, that's like the tree. I didn't know tree work was as dangerous as it was until I got into it. Some of the shit I saw them do, you know, it was just like, how the fuck are you gonna, you know, like, I've seen them cut fucking good fucking 30-inch stumps. You know, you're talking like a couple, you know, a couple 1,000-pound wood. And move it out from in between two garages, you know, without hitting the garage, like... There's only been one tree we went and did that he backed away from. And it wasn't that he couldn't do it.
It was two.
Right.
One when I was working with you and one when I wasn't. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
It was two. One I was working with, working, and then one I wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Yep. 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 Right. Right. There, Caleb. Oh, for sure. Because, yeah, oh, for sure. That was the thing too. I didn't realize how big some of these trees really were. How much wood is that? You know, they're like. He didn't like. Yeah, it's a big tree. That's a... I hate them ones. I hate them big trunks, man. It's because it always comes down to the big wood at the end. The branches, all that, depending on the kind of company, what they're doing with the wood. The branches, the leaves, them ain't shit. Them go right into a chipper, you know? Them stumps, yeah. And you got some of them companies that don't... They either manpower it, or they have tractors, but either, like, you'd think just having a tractor or something big to move them makes the job easy. Usually it just complicates the job. Because it's not like, I always, like, I'd see him go to pick up some of the big logs, and you think, like, oh, he's just going to pick them up with the forks and just throw them in the back of the trailer. And we would end up still having to manhandle this 2,000-pound log. Because now... Right. You know. Now, there's a company here in Michigan called Nelson, which apparently I thought they were only in Michigan. I guess they're all over. Like, usually, like, you see them out, they got a big-ass... They come with a chipper, but they got a big-ass truck with a fucking bucket on it and a claw. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's ideally probably how you want it, but I've noticed, like... A lot of the jobs that we ended up doing that these people wouldn't call people like that, it wasn't even money. It would be like Nelson would never get out there to do it because it was, you know, Nelson don't have enough, like, actual climbers. They have bucket babies, as Brian, the climber I worked with, calls them. They got people that can get on the back of the... You know what I'm saying? They can get on the back of the truck and fucking get somebody in the bucket, and they can cut it down that way and move it that way. But if they can't get the truck up, if they can't get the truck up in there, now you need a climber and a crane. You know what I mean? Like, now you still need a climber. You still need somebody to climb up there and set the ropes and everything, and the crane to move it. Because, like, the one job we turned down. It is. Yep, and I can get that, and because I learned that from Brian. Like, as long as you trust the people you're working with and the shit you got, it's a big freeing of the mind. You know what I'm saying? Because Brian wasn't necessarily afraid of heights, but, you know, you could tell, like, the shit would get his blood pumping. Right. I'll tell you what though, man. That climbing looked like it hard on the body. Like, you should see Brian when that fucker come out the tree. Because I used to make, I joke with him at first, because I thought it was from just from his injury. Because he had been smashed by a log at one point. Guy, his roper just wasn't, you know what I mean, doing what they were supposed to be doing. And fucked around and let the log hit him. And it kind of, it knocked him out the tree. But like, it kind of like smashed him into the tree and then knocked him out. So, you know, it hit him so hard that it jammed his legs into his hip sockets and cracked both of them. He's not supposed to be, he's not supposed to be climbing. Like, he had to learn to walk again and shit. But out of necessity and him, he ended up climbing again. But he'd come out the tree. It reminded me of them people like that they make fun of, like them comedy westerns, how they make fun of them like riding on a horse for a long time. They, they'd have that weird walk. They'd come off the horse. That's how Brian would look when he'd come out the tree. He'd be walking, so you're like, God damn, you alright, guy? He'd be like, oh, I need to, he'd be like, I need to do me a bump. Like, I bet. Bad motherfucker, though. I give him that. He badass. He's a small guy. He's like my build. But he manhandles these big-ass leads that normally you'd think, like, I'd probably myself rope down. I'm not going to try to grab that with my arms and try to throw it down while I'm strapped to the fucking... Fuck all that. I'm going to cut it off and rope it, and it's going to drop down. You know what I mean? Like, Brian be cutting tops of trees off and just smacking them over like, oh, shit. Like, damn, Brian. But I think that's a lot. It ain't even. It isn't about strength. He just kind of knows how to cut that top or maybe that lead, and just use a little bit of effort. You know what I'm saying? Gravity and everything else kind of does the rest. You know. Oh yeah. Well, again, he's around your. He's. Right. Right. Well, that's like Ed. Ed would get so irritated with some of the workers. He'd be like, oh, when I was fucking your guys' age, I did half this job. He was like, it'd be me and 3 other people doing this shit. There's 6, 7 of you. And it's like, Ed, I get it, but it ain't back in the day no more, bro. Like, people ain't got that kind... Like, I got that work ethic, but I'm not... Now, Ed's a big dude. Like, he'd boast. He'd be like, I used to snatch up 600-700 pound logs by myself. I believe it. He's a big motherfucker, bro. Like, do I think he just did that shit all day long? No. I feel that's physically impossible, but I believe he used to manhandle some big-ass shit and not complain about it, but that's the era. He still does, but that's the era he's from.
He was grabbing the heavier shit than I was.
There's...
No bullshit.
I ain't gonna lie, Kayla's right too, because there was a couple of times, bro, where it'd be like a 300-400 pound log, and he'd be going to grab the one end of it. I'm like, Ed, hey, like, let me get right. And I mean, he'd grab that motherfucker up and damn near pick me up with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to stop him, like, hey, oh shit, all right, fine, we're putting it in the chipper, okay. I was just saying, your COPD guy, I don't give a shit. That's Ed. Good dude. He's a good. He's one of those people that he's also a product of that you gotta deal with whatever kind of workers you can get. It's like, I try to keep, he's so used to paying druggy workers that'll take a lower pay than, but would rather bitch, it's like he would complain. It's like, dude, I got like 3 guys, dude, that they're gonna cost you a little more, but they ain't on drugs, they got their license, and they will show up on time every day. You won't have to find them. And he's like, it's like, dude, what do you mean, that's a no-brainer. Like, it's only costing like $100 more than you're already paying these fucking guys. And half the time, you lose money with them because they don't show up to work. You know what I mean? Like, Brian was the one he had to deal with. Brian was the climber. I understood that. Like, the only thing I'd tell him, like, he would let Brian take off with, like, a topping saw. And then, hit the spikes and saddle. And it was like, and then he would bitch when Brian would disappear. Like, hey man, I get you got another saddle, and I get it, but... Oh, you took off with my shit. Well, Ed? You know, like... You knew that was a chance, like, you know... Shit, bro. Shooting the shit, about to play some Cold War. Why? Guy, I haven't started playing yet. Why do you say it like that? Like it's so hard for me. It's close this app and start another stream of Warzone. And Kayla just said even... Well, damn! That didn't even register with me until I started to repeat it. Well, fuck you too, then. Even if Mike don't want to come play doesn't mean I won't. Well, alright, whatever. I'll fucking play Cold War by my fucking self, then. Hey! Shit! Alright. Look, it still says you're in here, too, like... Here, play with the fake... You got the fake-ass baby girl bot version. Half the performance, you know what I'm saying?
I'm loving them.
It's like, that's the I look at my phone performance. The fuck is baby girl doing? Standing in the corner.
What? Guess what? Isaac's here, but you know. it ain't, you know.
Jeff's like, huh? Wait, what?